This week, our team has been packing up the ministry center so we can take it all over to our house, which is becoming the new ministry center for the next 2 years while we're in the U.S. All of our storage is emptied out for the most part. We have begun breaking down the bunk beds and piece by piece transporting them over, the ones that we're going to use in our house at least. The rest are going to have to go into storage because we can't fit 20 bunk beds in our little 3-bedroom, 1-story house. But here's all the school supplies, and the kitchen is all packed up. So we got to take it over little by little in our car. And they recently made restrictions on who can drive on what days. And so that means only half of the days of the week we can actually have our car on the road, which makes it more complicated. But that's okay. God is good, and it's all happening. And we're just really happy to have such an awesome team that's working hard to help us in this process, and that we're all pitching in and doing it together. Today, I have the privilege of going out to rent a storage unit for the ministry as we move stuff out of the ministry center. And I have this beautiful haircut to present myself with. Hopefully they can take me seriously. But if not, I'll tell them I have money, and hopefully at the very least they'll rent me a place. So here we go. One of the steps of the process is to get the garage completely cleaned out. Here's all leftover scrap wood we have. Some of it we're giving to a family that uses wood to cook corn and make tortillas. But once all this is cleaned out, then we can bring the rest of the bunk beds down. And I'll be disassembling them one by one, bringing them down piece by piece and staging them so that next week we can put them all in a van and take them to the storage area.
So this week has been a difficult but good week. We spent a lot of time going out and visiting families. That's actually what we're doing right now. We are waiting because it's raining and there's a tractor trailer that is blocking the road. So once again, we're waiting in traffic.
Waiting patiently.
I don't think you're being very patient, Dylan.
Come on!
Okay, so we've had really good visits this week with the families. It's been hard, it's been sad. But one thing that God reminded me this week during some quiet time was it's hard because there's so much love that He has developed between the families and us over this last 7.5 years. And so that's just a really beautiful thing. It's also been really encouraging to us because the other day, one of the families we were visiting with just said to us, you know, we don't want you to go. We're really sad. But how can we say don't go and don't follow what God is calling you to when that's what that's what you're always teaching us and what you're always telling us to do and all of that. And so Dylan and I both at that moment were like, that's it. Our work here is done. Like that is why we have come to teach people that truth and to grow in relationship with Him and to know that they need to follow His plans for their life. And it was so encouraging for me because following God's plan in this has been so hard for me, but it was really encouraging for me to have them encourage me with that and remind me of how important that is. So, as I said, it's been a hard week, but it's been a good week.
Well, I just spent the better part of the afternoon taking apart all the bunk beds that Mike Winter and his awesome team put together last year. And I'm really grateful that they did it in a way that it was modular, so it can come apart in pieces. The original design wasn't like that, but yeah, now I just gotta wait for the guys next week to come and help me take it all downstairs and load it up in the van and put them in storage. You know, one thing that I'm looking forward to not having to do while we're in the U.S. is disinfect vegetables before I eat them.